The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast belong solely to the authors and not necessarily to the author's employer, organization, committee, or other group or individual.
Yeah, and welcome guys to the podcast. My name's Irvin,
And I'm Eljo.
and welcome to the number one music podcast here in the Philippines.
Yun.
This is Mind the Beats. We're already claiming it. Hindi sa nagyayabang pero we're already claiming it. We're gonna be the number one music podcast here in the Philippines. So, this is gonna be a very exciting episode. Before tayo pumunta sa episode,
Tagal
promote
na
muna
eh.
promote muna natin yung mga pinaggagawa natin. So, as you all know guys, nalabas na namin yung ganap namin sa Shopee. So, just click the links below dito sa description na to, sa Facebook, sa Twitter, sa Instagram. Kung ano man mga websites yan, Spotify, AnchorFM, Google Podcast, Radio Public, kung ano pa mga podcast available kami. You will see the links there. If you guys are aiming for the 8/8 sale or kahit ano mabibili nyo sa Shopee, pwede nyo click yung mga link. We do have two links. One is musical instrument, and then the other one is for anything under the sun kay Shopee. So kung mahilig kayong mag-design katulad ng mga tao sa HomeBuddies, or may gusto lang kayo bilhin, you can use that link. It will direct you to the Shopee's homepage and enjoy.
Yes.
And at the same time, if you guys are aspiring podcasters, if you want to create your own podcast and you're not really sure kung ano yung gagawin nyo or kung saan magsisimula, you can start with Podmetrics. So you can just type in podmetrics.co and then sign up there and then use our code MindTheBeats. And that way, you can send us a screenshot or pag na-notify kami, we can definitely help you out with creating your podcast. What do we mean by that? Pwede namin kayo tulungan with show notes. Show notes meaning yung mga notes na pwede nyo gawin for your episodes, how to build your podcast, how to create a Facebook page, o kung ano man yung mga pwede namin matulong, and then how to collaborate with different artists. So, yun yung mga pwede namin matulong. And at the same time, a huge shout out, pwede namin kayo promote sa page para pwede rin tayo mag-collaborate para makita natin kung paano yung magiging style nyo when it comes to podcasting. So again, podmetrics.co, and then use our referral code MindTheBeats. So just to let you know guys, Podmetrics is like an analytics database wherein makita niyo yung growth ng podcast niyo, kung ano yung mga listeners niyo, kung nasaan sila, ano yung mga devices, tsaka yung ano yung mga episodes na madalas pinapakinggan. And at the same time, this podcast is powered by AnchorFM. So sa AnchorFM kami nag-upload. So check nyo lang yung AnchorFM. Same thing. It's an analytical database wherein you can see everything under the sun when it comes to podcasting. So in this episode, we're gonna be talking about a sudden, what do you call this? Parang sudden tragedy. Hindi naman tragedy. Parang issue or rant na ginawa ni T-Pain sa Twitch. So,
masyadong mainit sa mga, siguro sa hip-hop scene, no?
Oo, pwede natin masabi sa hip-hop scene, pero it's actually
normal na sa, sa mga pop, sa
tsaka
na yun eh.
Tsaka sa madalas kasi parang siya directing towards sa mumble rappers. Kasi as we all know, mumble rappers are on the rise. This past few years pa rin naman because of the new sound, like the gibberish lyrics and everything on it. And then at the same time, ina-adapt din dito sa Pilipinas yun with the recent, not really recent, pero a couple of months na linabas ng 8 Ballin. Di ko alam ano title, Why You Know Me, or in short, Pash na sinasabi nila.
Yes.
Wherein naging trending din siya.
Pero may nauna dun
Oo, maraming mga nauna dun.
Diba? Meron din nag-trend na ganun pero I think last year yung nag-trend. Tapos ngayon parang bumalik ulit naman na sila naman.
dahil nga dun sa sa Why You Know Me, saka dun sa mga pinagagawa nila sa buhay. Which is, we're not really hating on them. It's just, to be honest, yung ginawa ng 8 Ballin or nung Pash production.
Publicity yun,
Oo, publicity. Kasi I'm not really sure if this is somehow like what they call this, parang market namin sila. Pero that is just one of their songs. If you're gonna be listening to their, or if you're gonna be going to YouTube and then type nyo yung artist ni 8 Ball nata, I think, maririnig nyo na talaga magagaling silang mga artists, magagaling mga singers, magaganda yung mga songs sila. I think it's more of like a marketing strat just to be trending. Kumbaga parang hindi naman nag-sell out, pero if you want
parang,
sige.
Kasi 'di ba parang kasi para 'di ba yung market kasi ng ng mga Pinoy dito sa atin. Napakabagal, 'di ba? Kumbaga tingin natin ayun yung magandang marketing strat na ginawa nila. So nung chinek out yung page nila, ng channel nila, nakita doon na malupit talaga sila, hindi sila basta-basta. Creativity wise magagaling sila.
Kahit nung pinakinggan ko yung mga kanta, ang galing nung yung mapayat na lalaki.
Oo,
diba? Ang galing kumanta. Sabi ko, Leia. Talaga literal na masasabi mo lang talaga, marketing strat lang talaga yung nangyari. Which is...
baka lasing lang sila nun.
idol ko yung katabi niya, yung nakatayo lang. yun ang gusto ko pag kunyaring may nag-offer sa akin or sa atin ng, oy, guest naman kayo sa music video namin. Gusto ko ganon, yung naka-checkered lang ako. Tapos nakatayo lang ako doon sa gilid nung nag-rap. Mga ganun lang, hype man lang ba?
Tapos flat na flat yung mukha, no?
Oo, flat na flat lang. Parang nakano lang. Ganun yung gusto kong go. Ganun yung magandang... To be honest, napakaganda ng marketing strat na ginawa ng 8 Ballin. But, going back to the topic.
Pero hindi natin sure yun, ha? Kung marketing strat talaga.
Pero, hindi natin alam kung marketing strat or anything.
Tingin natin.
Pero it's parang magandang move to create a name for themselves. Kasi madalas kasi mga this is somehow like a real talk. Kasi madalas kasi mga Pinoy napaka-judgmental eh. 'Di ba?
Yes.
Mga Pinoy kasi judgmental when it comes to music. When it comes to stuff, lahat naman eh. I mean, no hate with Filipinos kasi Filipinos din kami. But the nature in the Philippines is napaka-judgmental natin when it comes to things. And then nung lumabas yung 8 Ballin, na-judge natin agad sila when it comes to their yung path na pinasok nila. Without really seeing them or checking them out kung talagang legit ba sila or hindi.
Tama.
So, nangyari, nakita natin na talagang legit sila. Ang gagaling pang kumanta. So, talagang parang, uy, nabola mo kami dun ha. Well, you know me ha.
It's a prank.
It's a prank. R&B singer talaga ako. Pero, going back to the topic, we're gonna be talking about the T-Pain issue wherein talagang sobrang nagalit siya. Actually, linabas siya sa Twitch kasi si T-Pain ngayon is a Twitch streamer. And this is like a medyo mahabang short clip of his rant about the music industry nowadays. So just going back, let me just share the story. So what happened is, kasi syempre, since R&B artist siya, maraming mga nag-send sa kanya ng mga music to check out. And for some reason, siguro nainis na siya kasi it sounds the same. Like, yun na yung mumble rap na naririnig niya ever since. Sabi niya nga, in example niya nga with Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, lahat na may mga Lil eh. So, kung ano-ano mga mumble artist that has the same groove, has the same style, and he's really screaming to be original.
Oh.
Na, I mean, I get, nag-gets naman natin yung point niya kasi nung pumasok yung era niya, lahat sila magkakaiba eh. Kasabay niyan, correct me if I'm wrong, kasabay niyan is T-Pain, si Chris Brown, si Neo, tapos yung mga iba pa mga R&B artists like Mario and stuff, na talagang madidistinguish mo kung sino si Neo, sino si Chris Brown, sino si T-Pain. And a lot of artists, magkakaiba talaga sila eh.
Yung pinoproduce talaga nilang music, yung character nila.
Oo.
Hindi yung, kasi parang, well, sa ibang bansa kasi talagang ang pinaka-focus talaga ng bawat artist is yung creativity nila para lumabas yung character nila. Parang napakadalang ng mga artist sa ibang bansa. Hindi ko sinasabi na tama yung sinasabi ko kasi hindi naman tayo, wala naman tayo dun, hindi tayo sa Pinas. So, well, yung character nga na pinoportray nila talagang ayon. So, siguro ngayon yung mga ano ngayon, yung mga bagong artist siguro ngayon, talagang nagkakataon yung mga sinusulat nila is talagang pare-pareho. Hindi natin alam o baka sinadya, 'di ba?
Mm.
Pwedeng ganun eh.
I mean, honestly, hindi natin sure. Pero kasi, papasok yung grounds doon na bakit hindi sila nagkakaroon ng copyright or hindi sila nape-plagiarize sa isa't isa.
Yes.
If it's gonna be the same thing, 'di ba? Kasi as per T-Pain, as per his rant, they all sound the same.
Mm.
So, ang question dun is, if they have the same sound, they have the same dilemma, or kung ano man yung tawag nila dun, bakit hindi na-apply sa kanila yung plagiarism?
Yes.
Diba? Kasi if we're gonna be going deep with plagiarism, maraming sa ngayon eh. I mean, ano ba talaga? Before anything else pala, bago natin pag-usapan ng hindi naman medyo malalim yung plagiarism, let's talk about first kung ano yung difference ng copyright versus plagiarism.
Yes.
Kasi minsan, kasi dito sa Philippines, we're not really, I'm not really saying na hindi tayo educated when it comes to using music. I mean, napakadami natin mga streamers, madami tayong mga artists, pero medyo free yung ano natin eh, medyo free yung law natin when it comes to copyright and plagiarism. We've seen a lot of people na, like for example, Noel Cabango, nung linabanan niya yung, correct me if I'm wrong, is it ABS or GMA?
Mali. Si Gary Granada.
Yun, si Gary Granada pala. Sorry, my bad. Si Gary Granada,
Siguro,
linabanan niya yung plagiarism ng GMA sa kanta niya.
So, parang I think, jingle yon. Tapos, well, kung gusto niyo malaman yung full detail nun, siguro check nyo na lang sa YouTube. Kasi, dun nyo talaga maintindihan kung paano niya explain yung how plagiarism works, yung structure ng song, lahat talaga, yung technicalities na in-explain niya doon, sobrang deep. Kaya kung mapapanood nyo to, well, eto yung mga sasabihin namin, medyo mababaw pa. Pero yung sinabi ni Gary Granada doon, grabe, sobrang deep yung explanation niya bakit parang pasok sa grounds for plagiarism yung ginawa ng GMA. So, yun.
Kaya,
shoutout sa GMA.
Parang matagal parang matagal na siyang issue eh, pero yun yung pinakamagandang portrayal ng plagiarism around here in the Philippines, and marami pang mga cases with musicians here in the Philippines na nagkakaso ng grounds for plagiarism. So,
well, yung iba, di ba parang mababaw na eh.
Mababaw na. Madalas kasi ang nai-issue dito, hindi na pumupunta sa court eh. Madalas copyright na nangyayari.
Oo.
Especially
rant.
Oo, tsaka mga rant sa Facebook, sa Twitter o kaya sa Instagram.
Ikaw lang may plagiarism, pero plagiarism yan.
So, ganun nga. So,
parang ganun eh, no?
So, para magkaroon tayo ng idea, like textbook idea ng copyright versus plagiarism, let's talk about plagiarism and copyright infringement. Kumbaga, parang textbook, what they call this, textbook knowledge. So, ang plagiarism kasi tsaka copyright infringement are similar in some aspects. I mean, it's the same with music, but it has a distinctly different meaning. So for plagiarism, it's actually a claim of attribution for a work you did not author, or using someone else's work without proper attribution. So let's say gumawa ka ng kanta.
Yes.
And then you copied the same style, same kumbaga same palo, or not really the same sound, same style. Kumbaga parang literal na copy talaga when it comes to like a specific song. That is grounds for plagiarism. Kumbaga, 'di ba, tayo as an artist, if we're gonna be creating a music or a song, we always double check everything kung may katunog na ba siya o hindi. So,
kasi parang di naman maiiwasan yun, di ba?
Di talaga may iwasan. Di talaga may iwasan yung may katunog. Pero, ang importante doon, hindi mo kinopya yung mismong detail by detail nung song na yun. So, let's say, gagawa ko ng kanta kapag lasing. Hindi ko pwedeng gayahin yung pinaka-detail, yung detail na ginawa nila. And then, papalitan ko ng lyrics, pero yung same tone, same riff or anything na talaga literal na masasabi mo na, teka lang, parang naging riff off to. That is plagiarism. And then yung copyright infringement is using someone else's work without obtaining their permission.
Yes.
So, ibig sabihin yan, if you're gonna be using a specific song for example na lang, if you're gonna be using a specific song for a specific event. Number one na parang pinaka-common grounds for copyright infringement is Ikaw at Ako by Jonoy Danao.
Yun.
Kasi it is being used sa lahat, halos sa lahat ng mga weddings. And under textbook definition, ground yun ng copyright infringement because you're using someone else's work without obtaining their permission.
Yes.
We didn't ask for any permission sa artist to use his song for this specific event. Actually, medyo maluwag na dito sa Pinas kasi okay lang yun.
I think yung happy birthday dati, ano rin yun, bayad din yun. Bago mo magamit. I mean, hindi ko lang matandaan kung late 90s or 70s siya naging free domain.
Kasi may mga kanta tayong tinatawag na free domain wherein pwede natin gamitin yung mga songs na yun. Just to make sure na para bang wala tayong magiging problema when it comes to artists.
Yes.
Pinaka-common is yung canon na ano ba to?
Ginawang canon rock.
Ginawang canon hindi. Kumbaga parang musical piece wherein ginagamit din siya minsan sa mga weddings, sa mga events. Which is wala siya magiging grounds kasi free domain yun . Any classical music is gonna be free domain. So, actually, just to go back with copyright infringement, alam ko naglabas si Jonoy Danao ng statement regarding the usage of Ikaw at Ako. Actually, medyo maluwag na dito sa maluwag na dito sa Pinas kasi it's okay to use someone else's work just to use it as a soundtrack para sa like say wedding, event or debut o kung ano man 'yan. Nagkaroon ng issue si Jonoy Danao. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nagkaroon ng issue si Danao with using his song sa mga SDEs. Na linalabas sa Facebook. Pinupost sa Facebook, pinupost sa Instagram. And then, ginagamit siyang as a specific song para sa SDE or mga same-day edits when it comes to weddings. Kasi maganda naman talaga yung song . I mean, honestly, talagang timeless, classic na talaga yung Ikaw at Ako ni Jonoy Danao. Pero, at the expense of the artist, it's gonna be hard kasi this is a song na sinulat niya, not just para lang for his own amusement, but to earn money.
Tama.
Kaya madalas ang nangyayari pag pinopost mo sa Facebook o pinopost mo sa social media or anything, mas lalo pag nagkakaroon siya ng matinding reach, na-mute yung video, especially if it's not a copyright, if it's a copyrighted music. Regardless, ito yung i-assure ko, gusto ko munang i-assure. Regardless if you're gonna be adding a copyright infringement act, kumbaga yung parang quote and quote sa mga videos mo, it's still grounds for copyright infringement. Kasi in the first place, hindi natin pinaalam sa artist yung sound na yun.
Kahit ipaalam, 'di ba? Parang I think yung ipasok ko lang, yung parody kasi same music, different lyrics, 'di ba? Kumbaga siya ibang ground siya . Pero ang isang napanood ko kay Michael V, kasi 'di ba isa siya sa pinakamagaling mag-parody. So ginagawa niya before he writes before niya maggawing parody yung isang song, pinapaalam niya talaga.
Yes.
Talagang and then after he rewrite the song, ipapakita niya pa ulit ipapakita niya pa ulit sa kahit yung kay Eli Buendia, kahit sa yung Tadhana. Grabe. Ay, Tadhana. Hindi, yung isa pala.
Alam ko marami siyang pinarody na kanta .
Oo, pero lahat pala yon ipinaalam niya. Hindi lang basta yung ginawa tapos nagano siya. So, yun. Kahit ipaalam mo man lang siya, pwede na siguro yun . No? Pwede pumayag si Jonoy siguro kung ipinaalam. Kaso nga lang, ang nangyayari sa atin kasi, hindi naman lahat knowledgeable about that. Nagiging parang sige, pwede na yan. Ito, maganda tong kanta to. Ito yung dapat SDE natin.
Ito yung soundtrack ng kasal natin . So we're gonna use that. I mean, we're not trashing people na walang knowledge when it comes to things like this. Pero it's a good thing that if you have stumbled upon.
Hindi nyo talaga alam.
Oo, tsaka hindi nyo talaga alam din . It's not really something na tinuturo naman sa alam mo, tinuturo sa school or anything.
Mm.
Regardless if you're a conservatory of musician or you're earning a degree for music, of course, tinatackle yung mga ganyan, mga business, music ethics, music nuances, music laws.
Tama.
Pero for a common, ordinary person na talagang gusto lang maging masaya when it comes to their big day, of course, hindi natin masisisi na gamitin yung mga soundtrack na yan. Kasi of course,
parang
malaking yan eh, malaking deal yan kasi a song is a part of their life. Yung song na yun naging part na ng buhay nila. So it's our job, for us, it's our job to educate you guys that yeah, you can definitely use that. Yes. But of course, you have to get the correct you have to do it properly.
Yes.
Especially kasi if you're gonna be posting it in social media.
Tama. Kasi 'di ba, well, hindi naman para pagtanggol natin yung mga artists, pero well, yung pag-create ng music, one thing dyan is business din yan. Kumbaga, way nila yan to earn money. So, siguro kung pag namimit yung mga videos nyo, huwag kayong magalit kasi syempre pinaghirapan din ng tao yun eh.
Ako, diba? ano rin ako eh, ano ba tawag doon? Maarte rin ako sa pagdating sa ganyan eh. Kasi ilang beses na ako namimute palagi. Even live performances Kasi here in the Philippines, napakadami mga cover bands. And of course, for cover bands or alternative variety bands, kino-cover natin yung mga songs na lumalabas, yung mga songs na nare-record. And madalas, pag video-videoan natin, pinopost natin sa social media, kahit i-cover mo yan or pinlay mo lang yan, what they call this, parang narinig lang sa video mo, ika-copyright ka talaga.
Oo. Kung gusto nila maiwasan ma-copyright, palitan nila ng genre, reggae nila, kaya punk.
Tsaka, and at the same time, for some reason, if you're gonna be performing a song, let's say, i-cover mo yung song na, let's say, kapag lasing, yun lang din yung example natin, kapag lasing, and you're gonna be performing it live, they don't have grounds to copyright you.
Yes.
Kasi pinorform mo yan on your own. You didn't copy the same recording stuff that they did. And hindi talaga yung mismong recorded yung ginamit mo but you played it live. For some reason, nakakalusot pa rin yan.
Well, parang sa buong mundo naman ata.
Oo, ganoon naman sa buong mundo.
Given naman.
Oo. Pero of course, at the same time, kung ikaw naman, kung may time ka tsaka may extra time ka na, alam mo yung magpaalam sa lahat ng i-perform mo, hindi gawin mo. But if you don't have that luxury,
that's fine. No?
Ipapaalam mo lahat o Rico Blanco. Kay Bedancel, ko-cover po namin yung kanta mo. Okay lang po ba? Pero hindi na. If you're not gonna be posting it in social media or anything, if you're just gonna use the song, that's fine. Pero if you're gonna be posting it social media in some way, kumikita yung video, of course, ika-copyright ka niya.
Yes.
So,
sa akin nga, yung sa channel ko, hindi pa kumikita eh. +1 na yung copyright claim eh.
Ang dami ng copyright claim, no? So again, i-ano lang natin i-clear lang namin to sa mga viewers or sa mga listeners natin na regardless if you're gonna be using a copyright infringement act or yung quote and quote na linalagay for copyright infringement, as long as it's recorded and without permission, may possibility pa rin i-copyright. Same thing katulad na nangyari kay Perf. Diba?
Oo, yun.
Tinuro niya yung lead ng 214. Kasi siya naman yung original na nagsulat nun eh.
Sariling gitarista na pa-copyright, di ba?
Pero hindi naman pero hindi siya yung naka-under dun sa song na yon. Naka-under siya sa isang malaking, what do you call this? Parang, ano ba tawag dun? Label. So they still have the right to copyright you regardless if you're the artist or not. So that's why there's always a difference with producing your own stuff and using a label to record that. Pero we can talk about it in the coming days. Medyo mahahaba pa yung ano natin eh. Pag-uusapan natin dyan sa copyright or plagiarism aim. But yun yung just nun. Plagiarism is copying the same thing without changing anything or kung ano man yan.
Yes.
And then copyright is using someone's work without their permission.
Kaya siguro yung mga grounds ng, I think, yung sa BTS, kay Skastakli, parang mahirap pag-usapan yung kasi yung mga grounds ng mga songs nila is naka-based din sa ibang song na mas luma pa sa kanila, sa mas nauna pang tunog, di ba?
I mean,
kumbaga yung,
kasi ano yun
ground yung grounds for plagiarism talagang napakalawak niyan. Pero ang pinaka-advisable dyan, wag mong kokopyahin ng buo. Kasi yung buong structure niyan talaga, pasok na pasok sa grounds ang plagiarism yan. Di
Kung
ba?
kokopyahin mo yung mismong talagang
Baguhin mo unti.
copy or i-base mo sa isang kanta, talagang magagrounds for plagiarism ka dyan.
Oo.
Pero if you're just gonna be just gonna be doing some hints, that's fine. Kasi, papasok kasi tayo dyan sa, aside from grounds for plagiarism, kasi napakalaki niyan eh. And
Oo.
we need someone in the music business to help us understand yung mga grounds of plagiarism. Kasi napakadami yan. It's not just for kinopya yung beat or anything. Kasi, ito yung question dun eh. Parang, can we own a sound ba talaga?
Or
Diba?
a beat.
Or a beat. Kasi, if we're gonna be owning a sound, let's say, ang pinaka-common na chord progression is, let's say, E minor, D, and then C. Or kaya C sharp minor, B, and then A. Then F sharp minor, G sharp, A. Yun yung mga common na mga chord progressions na ginagamit for refrains or kung saan mang kanta. If we have the choice to own that, wala na tayong magiging kanta ngayon.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi, let me just i-clear lang namin to sa mga listeners natin. If you guys are gonna be producing music, you cannot say na you own that specific chord. Honestly, you really cannot own a sound.
Yes.
Kasi lahat yan nanggagaling sa same chord progression. That's why, nung lumabas yung issue ni Katy Perry sa Dark Horse, if you guys are gonna be researching that, a couple of years ago, na balik lang tayo, a couple of years ago, nakasuhan ng Plagiarism Act ang kanta ni Katy Perry, Dark Horse. So, ang naging grounds is through a Christian artist. I forgot the name of the Christian artist. Pero it has the same beat, it has the same progression. I mean, same chords, pero ibang progression siya. Pero if you're gonna be listening to it, at some point, may similarity sila.
Tama.
It will have the same beat, it will have the same similarity or chord progression. Pero what happened, correct me if I'm wrong, is nanalo yung Christian artist ng millions of dollars sa lawsuit na yun for Dark Horse, which pissed a lot of music enthusiasts. Maraming nainis dun sa copyright law na yun or sa lawsuit na yun. Kasi the main gist of the situation is that, can you own a chord? Same thing with Ed Sheeran and Marvin Gaye's lawsuit. Ed Sheeran ng Thinking Out Loud, and then kay Marvin Gaye ng Let's Get It On. It has the same chord progression, the D, F sharp, minor, G, and then A. And then yun yung naging grounds nila to file a lawsuit. Which is, I'm not really sure kung sino nanalo when it comes to that lawsuit. But then again, it was explained ng maraming mga YouTubers. You can check them out. Number one, Adam Neely. Check niyo yung mga music YouTubers natin that has more understanding when it comes to plagiarism. Kasi mababaw lang naman yung namin i-explain namin dito. Na stating that you cannot own a chord. You can own the sound that you recorded. Okay, let me just be clear. You can own the sound that you recorded. Let's say, what do you mean by that? Let's say, kapag lasing malambing, di-record nila yun sa YR Music. Yung shoutout nga pala sa YR Music. Congratulations sa release nyo. They recorded it sa YR Music. They have the capacity to own that sound. Pero if another artist is gonna be performing and at some point they will use the same chord pattern pero with a different style, hindi magiging grounds for plagiarism yun. Kasi again, you cannot own a chord progression. You cannot own the sound. The only time that you can own a sound is that pag na-record mo na siya and it has a trademark or watermark or anything. I think nagkakaroon ng issue when it comes to beats sa hip-hop scene, yung mga beats, yung mga watermark. Kasi they are using the same watermark eh. Di ba nagkakaroon ng parang issue na kinopya nito ni, ano ba yun? Parang meron pang isang sikat din na kanta eh. Yung Neneng B. Parang, diba? Yung Neneng B nagkaroon na ng acts for plagiarism. Yung bakit? Kasi they purchase the same beat sa isang beatmaker. Which is dapat hindi nabenta ng beatmaker yun in the first
Oo.
place. Kasi again, going back, may mga artists, mga hip-hop artists na iba na nagpo-purchase ng beats.
Yes.
And
May
then
mga talaga nag-create ng mga beats and then they sell it.
Oo.
So yung mga iba sa mga hip-hop na nakaka-appreciate ng mga gawa ng iba tapos gusto nilang gawa ng kanta, well, paunahan na lang silang bilhin yun.
Oo.
Kaso nga lang, talagang minsan nagkakaroon ng pares.
Kasi
Well,
it's the same beat.
mm,
You cannot own a beat. You cannot own a chord progression. You can just record it and put a watermark in it or a trademark.
mm-mm.
Diba minsan may narinig kayo mga parang parody records, ganyan sa mga watermarks or anything. Ibig sabihin nun, it's trademark. So you cannot use that same beat in producing another song. Kumbaga parang naka-own na yung beat na yon. Pero if you are a sound engineer, o kaya
Naalala ko dyan eh.
or kaya isang music producer, and if you want to make a song out of the same beat, you can still do it. Kasi they will not have grounds when it comes to creating, or they will not have the same grounds na sabihin nila na kinopya mo yung beat ko. Actually, no. I just created my own beat. Ayun yung re-record mong beat, so ito gagawa ko ng sarili kong beat. And then at the same time, kahiyaan na lang kung gagawin mo yung same beat na yun. Diba? Parang unwritten law na yun na pag may ganito ng same beat, di mo na para ikaw gayahin pa yun. Siguro kung gusto mo lang talaga ilagay yung beat na yun, just put it as like a part sa song na ito yung beat na gusto kong gawin.
Kumbaga sa basketball, may unwritten rules sila. Ganon din sa music. Alas sa lahat ng aspeto, sa lahat ng industriya, mayroong mga unwritten rules talaga. So, respect the rules. Kasi kung pare-pareho tayo lahat, well, ang pangit din naman nun. Diba? Parang wala ng creativity ang bawat artist pag ganon.
Kumbaga,
that's why,
going back, hindi, sige, tuloy mo.
That's why, may sariling character si Rico Blanco, may sariling character si Evidancel, si Bamboo, or si Muni pa yan, o kaya si Nobita. May mga sarili silang character na lumalabas talaga yung, well, kung ano yung pinoportray nila, which is yung sarili nila. Diba? Kumbaga, nagkakaroon lang ng same sound minsan talaga kasi hindi natin maaalis yun. Dumadating talaga sa point na gano'n. That's why, di ba, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga mashup. Well, si Monty, di ba, may na-mashup niya yung ibang song. Parang way back 2018, 2017, nung nasa sila. Di ba, may minashup siyang song.
Actually, sa Jopay, ginagawa niya yun eh.
Diba? Oo.
Sa Jopay, ginagawa niya yun eh. Kasi, they can still insert that yung parang senaryo na yun na pwede nila ipasok yung mga kanta. Kasi, lahat yan, kahit magkakaiba sila ng sound, si Rico Blanco, si Ebe, muni-muni man yan, kung sino man yung artist na yan, they still use the same progression. They still use the same pattern sa drums. At some point, kung hindi man kopyang-kopya, they will still use it sa mga songs nila.
Kasi may rules ang may rules ang mga chord progression. Hindi, well, may kilala kami bumabali ng rules ng progression, pero ang normal ng progression is the same. So, kung saan nagsimula yan, hanggang dulo yan. Diba?
At the same time, yung riff na lang ng Bakit Part 2 sa simula. Diba yung E, tapos A, tapos C sharp, tapos B. It is being used widely. Maraming mga songs that uses the same progression, pero hindi sila na-act ng plagiarism. Bakit? Kasi nga, let me reiterate this one, you cannot own a chord. You can only own the sound if you recorded it, if you put trademark in it, and if you nag-profit ka na dun. Pero the use of the chord progression cannot be owned. As a matter of fact, you really cannot even trademark your own voice. Kasi, kasi that's paano kung may kapareho kang tunog, pareho kang boses, di ba? So, wala
ako lang husky sa mundo.
Di ba? That's the thing. You cannot trademark your own voice, man. You
Yes.
can use the same progression but you cannot own it.
Tama.
The only time that you will be plagiarized is pag yung literal na ginaya mo yung paano yung tono ng kanta. Paano
Same
yung
structure
style.
talaga, no?
Same, literal na same structure. Pero again, may mga grounds pa yan. Again, do not hit us on this one. Kasi this is just, kumbaga parang kung C-level. Yung parang naalala ko yung podcast na napakinggan ko. Kumbaga C-level, nasa 2% pa lang yung ano namin. Sinishare namin. Share namin dito. Kumbaga parang mababaw pa lang to when it comes to grounds for plagiarism and copyright.
Oo, napakarami.
Napakadaming grounds for plagiarism for copyright na unwritten, at the same time hindi aware ang mga tao, which is that's fine kasi kumbaga ito kasi yung point nun bakit aalamin ko yung knowledge na yun kung hindi ko naman gagamitin.
Basta ka no-finish ka, stuck lang yung song.
Oy, di namin tinitira yung BTS Army Kumbaga parang you guys have to expand your horizon. It's really
namin yung mga
mahirap kasing ano ba tawag doon? Mag-claim ng something na hindi mo pa without further research, without further understanding kung tama ba yung sinasabi mo or not. Again, sa amin, for this podcast, this is just basically our very minimal or napakababaw na understanding when it comes to plagiarism and copyright, and at the same time with music in general. If you really want to learn more about music, like historians or history, where did music came about, mga ganung mga stuff, you can enroll yourself sa Shekina Music School.
Yeah! Ang galing, alala mo.
Napasok ko yun, Brad. So, we are teachers ng Shekina Music School. So, if you want to learn more about music, how to play an instrument, history.
Gusto niya lang matutunan ng theory and
music theory.
Galit ka sa tunog ng iba.
Yan. So, punta lang kayo sa page ng Shekina Music School.
Yes.
I-entertain kayo ng mga tao doon after a couple of months para makapag-enroll kayo sa school namin. So, going back, again, this is an unwritten rule. You cannot own a chord. You cannot own a beat. The only time that you will own a beat or a chord or a sound is as if na-record mo na siya and na-trademark mo na siya. So,
So, yung ito lang. The only thing you could do para sa mga music na lumalabas ngayon, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Magkaroon man siya ng, kunyari, medyo magkatunog man sila, appreciate mo yung song. At least kahit pa paano, nakakreate siya. May creativity na naipasok doon. Well, hindi natin alam kung sinadya niyang kopyahin yun or nagkataon lang. Diba? Kasi sa tagal ng kung saan man nagsimula ang music, 18 something pa or diba? Parang yung Ebat Adan pa lang ata, may music na, diba?
Oo, parang ganun. Mga ganun siguro. Huwag nyo kaming ipin doon Kunya, hindi na namin sure
Uy, Ebat Adan tao. Edrile, totoo ba to ako
Hindi, pero yun nga, appreciate the song. Kung ano man yung re-release ng mga artists natin ngayon. Kung mumble rap man yan or anything. That's nakadepende sa choice niyan sa taste niyan when it comes to music.
Nasa artist na din yun kung talagang may grounds ang kumopya sa kanila, di ba? Nandun, ayun yun Ang point natin as a fan, as a musician, as a listener, appreciate natin yung creativity ng iba. Kumbaga, kapwa Pilipino mo na yan ilain mo pa ba? Kumbaga, i-appreciate mo na sila. Kumbaga, matuwa ka na. Di ba?
And at the same time, advice din sa mga mga aspiring musicians or sa mga nag-create ng mga songs or nagpo-produce ng mga beat or anything. Try to make an original content. I mean, hindi naman masama yung i-appreciate natin yung mga mumble rappers or halos magkakatunog na sila. Pero it's still better that you still create your own.
Tama.
Na nakita niyo 'di ba when it comes to music, like yung mga artists natin, For Spades, Muni-Muni, Nubita, Sponge Cola, lahat yan magkakaiba ng tunog they're just being labeled as bands. Pero they still have their own grounds when it comes to music. Kumbaga parang yun yung binanggit dati ni Monty na may sound ng mayonnaise, which is a defining sound.
Oo.
Wherein pag narinig mo ang mayonnaise, automatic malalaman mo na this is
Mayonnaise
mayonnaise.
talaga.
So it's
Tama.
still very important na we're not saying that you don't appreciate yung mga mumble rappers or halos magkakaparehong tunog. But if you want to make a change in the world and if you want to be known or gusto mo lang talaga magkaroon ng impact sa mga buhay ng tao, you have to create your own music. You have to
Yes.
be original.
Talagang hindi basta-basta, pero mas okay na yung binigay mo yung lahat dun sa song. Kasi pinasok mo na to eh. Tuloy mo na.
At the same time, 'di ba, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga patterns na let's say ito para mga sad boy na tunog. Wag yung ano ba mga banda lumabas doon? December Avenue. Yung ibang mga sad boy na mga kanta like yung sa periodiko, which is parang yung lyrics at the sound nila medyo nakakalungkot. But it's still different. They still have the originality that we're aiming for. I mean, December Avenue, alam natin na talagang nandun sila sa point na mga slow songs, medyo masakit sa puso. But again, it's still their trademark. Pag narinig nyo ang December Avenue, sasabihin nyo, December Avenue yan. Pag narinig nyo yung Four of Spades, automatic sasabihin nyo, Four of Spades yan. And again, guys, just appreciate the music. And if you are a musician, aspiring musiko, kumbaga tawag nila, or debate nila, or musician, or kung ano man yung tawag sa sarili nyo, try to create your own sound. Try to be original. And possibly the world will be a better place with original music. So that is actually it for this episode. So we're trying to reduce the longevity ng mga episodes namin kasi
saka medyo iniwasan namin mag-rant na sobra
kasi
lahat ng social media account namin tanggalin na eh.
Baka report na lahat eh. And at the same time kasi we're gonna be uploading stuff every Saturday. So again guys, announcement. So we're gonna be uploading everything every Saturday at 8 p.m. Yes. More or less before 8 p.m. or after 8 p.m. Basta nandun sa oras na yun. So we're gonna try and
abangan na kayo.
Kaya palagi nyo, pwede na kami i-bash palagi kasi meron na kaming time slot na talagang ina-own namin. So every Saturday we're gonna be producing new episodes na magiging available sa Spotify, sa AnchorFM, sa Google Podcast, sa Radio Public, at sa kung saan mga podcasting sites available.
Yes.
And at the same time, your visual episodes may kita nyo yan sa YouTube. Type nyo lang Mind the Beats. And then you can follow us on our social media accounts. Buhay na ang aming Twitter. Type nyo lang ang Mind the Beats. Follow us on Twitter. And then Instagram.
Yes, upload ko lang kanina.
Dalawa pa yung in-upload niyan. So, Mind the Beats.
Mamaya.
Mind the Beats. And then Facebook, just follow us on Facebook, Mind the Beats. And then sa mga social media accounts namin, follow nyo kami, add nyo kami. And if you guys have any suggestions for future episodes, you can definitely suggest. Just ping nyo kami sa Mind the Beats, and then let's see if it's gonna be possible to talk about it sa mga darating na mga episodes. So expect more content, expect more mga guests natin dito sa Mind the Beats. And at the same time, mga music talks na para maging aware naman tayo when it comes to music in general. And at the same time, marami kaming mga ilalabas na mga surprises for you guys. So,
excited na kami doon.
Sobrang excited
kami. Wala lang
kami
budget.
Budget lang kalaban namin, pero yung creativity namin malaki.
Oo.
Talagang pang-asap na production, mga ganun.
Yes.
So, and at the same time, buhay pa yung Shopee namin, guys, ha? So, kung bibili kayo ng mga... Salamat, Kuya Well! Salamat! So, yun nga, kung bibili kayo ng mga items sa Shopee, click nyo lang yung mga links sa description or kahit sa description na itong video na to. For musical instruments, nandiyan yung link. And then for anything na gusto nyo bilhin sa Shopee, click nyo lang din yun. And then, diretso kayo sa homepage ng Shopee. So, you can still, pwede nyo purchasein lahat ng gusto nyo doon. So, this is a way of us saying thank you for all your support, and then at the same time, a way for us as well to support ourselves here in the
Yes.
podcast. And if you're an aspiring musician, or not really musician, but aspiring podcaster, and you want to start your own podcast, you can sign up sa podmetrics.co. Use nyo lang yung referral code namin, Mind the Beats. And send nyo lang kami ng SS na nakapag-sign up kayo using our referral code, and we will help you out with promoting your podcast, creating show notes. Show notes yung para bang notes na pwede nyo gamitin for talking points sa
Guide nyo.
episode. Yung guide nyo, and then how to collaborate with different artists. So, depende sa magiging topic nyo sa podcast. So, that is it for this podcast. Again,
Yes.
check it out. Check out our social media accounts and follow us there. Again, my name is
Yes.
Irvin,
And I'm Eljo.
and this is the #1 music podcast in the country. This is Mind the Beats.
Yeah.